Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. You have to believe in yourself. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Every battle is won before it is fought. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Victory comes from finding opportunities in problems. If you wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. When you surround an army, leave an outlet free. Do not press a desperate foe too hard. One mark of a great soldier is that he fight on his own terms or fights not at all. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will everywhere be weak. Victory is reserved for those who are willing to pay its price. All is fair in love and war. Know yourself and you will win all battles. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. Engage people with what they expect. It is what they are able to discern and confirms their projections. It settles them into predictable patterns of response, occupying their minds while you wait for the extraordinary moment, that which they cannot anticipate. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Plan for what is difficult when it is easy. Do what is great when it is small. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. The opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Those who are victorious plan effectively and change decisively. They are like a great river that maintains its course but adjusts its flow. The nature of war is constant change. A battle avoided cannot be lost. Move swift as the wind and closely formed as the wood. Attack like the fire and be still as the mountain. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across. He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Yes. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Know thyself, know thy enemy. Great results can be achieved with small forces. First, learn to become invincible. Then wait for your enemy's moment of vulnerability. The true objective of war is peace. Do not engage an enemy more powerful than you. And if it is unavoidable and you do have to engage, then make sure you engage it on your terms, not on your enemy's terms. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move. So a military force has no constant formation. Water has no constant shape. The ability to gain victory by changing and adapting according to the opponent is called genius. To win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the acme of skill. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. If you fight with all your might, there is a chance of life, whereas death is certain if you cling to your corner. When strong, avoid them. If of high morale, depress them. Seem humble to fill them with conceit. If at ease, exhaust them. If united, separate them. Attack their weaknesses. Emerge to their surprise. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. When one treats people with benevolence, justice, and righteousness, and reposes confidence in them, the army will be united in mind, and all will be happy to serve their leaders. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. You cannot know if you will be successful or not. You can only prepare for battle, and it must be done with all of your heart and with all of your consciousness. In that manner, you will have an edge. Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. What is of supreme importance in war is to attack the enemy's strategy. Humble words and increased preparations are signs that the enemy is about to advance. Violent language and driving forward as if to the attack are signs that he will retreat. Sweat more during peace. Bleed less during war. The line between disorder and order lies in logistics. Rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him. The clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not will be victorious. Until death itself comes, no calamity need be feared. Therefore, just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions. One may know how to conquer without being able to do it. To subdue an enemy without fighting is the greatest of skills. If an enemy has alliances, the problem is grave and the enemy's position strong. If he has no alliances, the problem is minor and the enemy's position weak. What is essential in war is victory, not prolonged operations. The wise warrior avoids the battle. Rapidity is the essence of war. Take advantage of the enemy's unreadiness. Make your way by unexpected routes and attack unguarded spots. These are the 6 ways of courting defeat. Neglect to estimate the enemy's strength, want of authority, defective training, unjustifiable anger, non-observance of discipline, failure to use picked men. Hold out baits to entice the enemy, feign disorder, and crush him. So the principles of warfare are: do not depend on the enemy not coming, but depend on our readiness against him. Do not depend on the enemy not attacking, but depend on our position that cannot be attacked. There are routes not to be followed, armies not to be attacked, citadels not to be besieged, territory not to be fought over. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. Against those skilled in attack, an enemy does not know where to defend. Against the experts in defense, the enemy does not know where to attack. Those whose upper and lower ranks have the same desire are victorious. The skillful employer of men will employ the wise man, the brave man, the covetous man, and the stupid man. Rouse him and learn the principle of his activity or inactivity. Force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. In warfare, first lay plans which will ensure victory, and then lead your army to battle. If you will not begin with stratagem, but rely on brute strength alone, victory will no longer be assured. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. So there are 5 ways of knowing who will win. Those who know when to fight and when not to fight are victorious. Those who discern when to use many or few troops are victorious. Those whose upper and lower ranks have the same desire are victorious. Making no mistakes is what establishes the certainty of victory, for it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. If, however, you are indulgent, but unable to make your authority felt, kind-hearted, but unable to enforce your commands, and incapable, moreover, of quelling disorder, then your soldiers must be likened to spoilt children. They are useless for any practical purpose. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. Go into emptiness, strike voids, bypass what he defends, hit him where he does not expect you. Too frequent rewards indicate that the general is at the end of his resources. Too frequent punishments that he is in acute distress. A kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. Know thyself, know thy enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. Without harmony in the state, no military expedition can be undertaken. Without harmony in the army, no battle array can be formed. If we do not wish to fight, we can prevent the enemy from engaging us, even though the lines of our encampment be merely traced out on the ground. All we need to do is to throw something odd and unaccountable in his way. O divine art of subtlety and secrecy, through you we learn to be invisible, through you inaudible, and hence we can hold the enemy's fate in our hands. It is a doctrine of war not to assume the enemy will not come, but rather to rely on one's readiness to meet him, not to presume that he will not attack, but rather to make oneself invincible. A sovereign of high character and intelligence must be able to know the right man, should place the responsibility on him, and expect results. Carefully compare the opposing army with your own, so that you may know where strength is superabundant and where it is deficient. Unless you know the mountains and the forests, the defiles and impasses, the lay of the marshes and swamps, you cannot maneuver with an armed force. Unless you use local guides, you cannot get the advantages of the land. The rising of birds in their flight is the sign of an ambuscade. Startled beasts indicate that a sudden attack is coming. Know the enemy, know yourself. Your victory will never be endangered. Know the ground, know the weather. Your victory will then be total. If I am able to determine the enemy's dispositions, while at the same time I conceal my own, then I can concentrate and he must divide. If there is disturbance in the camp, the general's authority is weak. If the banners and flags are shifted about, sedition is afoot. If the officers are angry, it means that the men are weary. Prohibit the taking of omens and do away with superstitious doubts. Then, until death itself comes, no calamity need be feared. Thus, though I have heard of successful military operations that were clumsy but swift, cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. Those skilled in attack move as from above the ninefold heavens. Chant. Thus they are capable both of protecting themselves and of gaining complete victory. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy so that he cannot fathom our real intent. Maneuvering with an army is advantageous, with an undisciplined multitude, most dangerous. A leader leads by example, not by force. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally, but a power of estimating the adversary, of controlling the forces of victory, and of shrewdly calculating difficulties, dangers, and distances constitutes the test of a great general. If you are situated at a great distance from the enemy, and the strength of the two armies is equal, it is not easy to provoke a battle, and fighting will be to your disadvantage. All war is based on deception. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally. However desperate the situation and circumstances, don't despair. When there is everything to fear, be unafraid. When surrounded by dangers, fear none of them. When without resources, depend on resourcefulness. When surprised, take the enemy by surprise. Kill one, terrify 1,000. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Pretend inferiority and encourage his arrogance. All warfare is based on deception. There is no place where espionage is not used. Offer the enemy bait to lure him. Correct your mistake as soon as you have found it. And regulation entails organizational effectiveness, a chain of command, and a structure for logistical support. The wheels of justice grind slow, but grind fine. If words of command are not clear and distinct, if orders are not thoroughly understood, the general is to blame. But if his orders are clear, and the soldiers nevertheless disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. All warfare is based on deception. If your enemy is superior, evade him. If angry, irritate him. If equally matched, fight, and if not, split and reevaluate. The general who wins the battle makes many calculations in his temple before the battle is fought. The general who loses makes but few calculations beforehand. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight. Be where your enemy is not. Don't flail against the world, use it. Flexibility is the operative principle in the art of war. Concentrate your energy and hoard your strength. Pretend to be weak, so your enemy may grow arrogant. When the thunderclap comes, there is no time to cover the ears. All men can see these tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. If a battle cannot be won, do not fight it. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. All wars are won or lost before they are ever fought. I will be able to forecast which side will be victorious and which defeated. It is the rule in war: if 10 times the enemy's strength, surround them. If 5 times, attack them. If double, be able to divide them. If equal, engage them. If fewer, be able to evade them. If weaker, be able to avoid them. It is more important to outthink your enemy than to outfight him. Regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. Ground which can be abandoned but is hard to reoccupy is called entangling. Invincibility lies in the defense, the possibility of victory in the attack. Thus it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. One need not destroy one's enemy. One need only destroy his willingness to engage. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him, not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. The art of war is self-explanatory. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Subtle and insubstantial, the expert leaves no trace. Divinely mysterious, he is inaudible. Thus he is master of his enemy's fate. There is no place where espionage is not possible. When the leader is morally weak and his discipline not strict, when his instructions and guidance are not enlightened, when there are no consistent rules, neighboring rulers will take advantage of this. Thus, the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. In war, numbers alone confer no advantage. Do not advance relying on sheer military power. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline. Thus, it is in his power to control success. The height of strategy is to attack your opponent's strategy. The best general is the one who never fights,